Thanks for joining us here at Rose Quartz Mediumship podcast, where we simply adore anything and everything healing and metaphysically based. I want to tell you a funny little story that is a bit of a metaphor. The other day I was in the shower and I was shaving my legs, and I'd already shaved other places in my body. And I finished shaving my right leg, and then I went to shave my left leg, and there was blood on my leg. And I paused, knowing that I had not shaved that leg yet. And I looked at the blood that was on my leg, and had this moment where I recognized that I'd been cut, that I'd been wounded. But the place that I was seeing the blood and experiencing the wound was not in the place that I'd actually been cut. The blood on my left leg wasn't from my left leg. I'm sure that you can do the math and figure out where in my body I'd cut just above my leg. And I thought, isn't this the human experience? So frequently, we have a wound, and the blood shows up in a different place in our reality. The wound might be from childhood, but the evidence of the wound is going to show up in adulthood, in the behaviors that we embody, in the things that we allow, in the way that we move through the world, the way that we engage with people. So frequently, the actual site of the wound is not in the place that we can see the blood. So frequently, we will look at reactions, our reactions to our reality, to people in our reality, to experiences in our reality, to places in our reality. And we are reacting from a wounded place. And we can look at our romantic relationship, or we can look at our friendships, or we can look at our career, or we can look at our relationship with money, or we can look at our home, and we can see the blood. It shows up there. It shows up in the way that we allow ourselves to be treated, in the way that we react to what's happening in our environment. But that isn't the site of the wound. We've been cut somewhere else. It's just that the blood has dripped there. And when we get brave enough to look back, we can often find the source of our wound, the place that we've been cut, and recognize that the way that we're reacting, the way that we're engaging with the people in our reality and our human experience is just the blood dripping. And if you actually want to heal, you need to go back to the source of the wound. We can't heal a wound that isn't there. If you think about my shaving experience, I can wash the blood off of my leg, but it'll just drip back because I didn't get to the source of the wound. And so I can change things in my current reality, but if I'm unwilling to go back to the source of the wound, to the place that I've actually been cut, then the blood will just keep dripping on my leg. And by leg, I mean relationships and career and experiences. And it's one of the reasons that it's so important to recognize the blood and that there is a wound, but not to get lost looking at your leg when you need to trace it back just a little bit further. Go back into the earlier experiences in your life where you've been cut and heal that so that you stop dripping blood on your reality. And I wanted to share this experience with you because I thought it was such a neat metaphor for the healing process and why it's so important to be willing to go back and trace the source of the original wound. I hope that you have a beautiful morning, day, evening, or night, wherever it is that this podcast is finding you.